I am live. Oh my God, this is the very first time that I do this live in English. This is the very first time that I go on YouTube in English on this sort of live that I'm doing today. I'm very sorry about this banner. I don't know how to fix it. But next time is going to be much better. I'm going to wait until somebody joins us. But in the meantime, just so you know, hold on, let me see comments. No, remove. Yes. There's a person already. Actually, no, there's like 6 people already. Good, very, very good. Okay, if you guys don't have not read what this was about and you're just joining because you just wanted to join, thank you so much. But if you are here to be a part of this conversation that we're going to have about where our industry is headed towards, I know that the title is a question that I make myself. I already answered it to myself, and I actually came up with this set of live streams that I've been doing, but I've been doing them in Spanish because I mainly have been focusing on servicing my community first, my country, because I mean the community, the salsa and bachata community in Mexico, because as we are in the pandemic, believe it or not, you guys, we are still not being able to cross the border. Not people that we're used to crossing the border, just walking or in a car. That is still not a possibility for us. So all these years we've been, this entire year and a little bit over the year, we've been struggling with not being able to work, not being able to do a lot of things, and a lot of situations have come into our perspective of how we are doing as dancers, if we can do better, if we can work towards a better community, a better industry. So in Mexico, we've been working on that for the full year. I think I started my very first live was like perhaps the first week of January. And we've been having a lot of success in terms of people like really being excited about this new, tendency, or this new opening to create awareness to what is going on and what is wrong and what can we do about it. A lot of people have been getting together with me, and then we're doing a lot of great things in Mexico in the industry. And I just want to share this with you guys in the rest of the world. So the very first live that I did back in the day in Spanish was something similar to what I'm going to be discussing today. And this one is just like to open up this conversation about where our industry is heading towards, just having like a x-ray of what's going on, everything, all the pain points in our community, so that we can do something about it and we don't just let it go to where it's going, like we can just get the best out of what we have for the future generations. Okay, so we're on time, we're still on time to fix what's going on, but we first have to be open to understand that we need to like take up x-ray, a picture of what's going on. And one of the things that is going on, when I say going on, I've already spoken to a lot of people in the US, especially in California and Texas. And I've been talking to them and then asking them if any of the stuff that I've been talking about in my lives applies to Texas and California. And they say absolutely yes, absolutely yes. So I'm going to start today. I'm only going to touch on the topic of salsa fame or the obsession with salsa fame. And I'm probably going to use the term um, immediate gratification, immediate instant gratification, interchangeably with obsession with salsa fame. Because I don't know which one comes first, but uh, it definitely affects a lot of the ways that we've been acting and how we're being um, we've been acting, our behavior, our consumer behavior, the way we consume salsa and bachata, the way we produce it, the way we approach it, and especially I'm talking about the people who are trying to make a living off of teaching salsa and bachata or putting together events or any sort of way of making a living out of dance, out of what's your passion. Okay, so that was the reason why today the topic of that we're starting with is this question. It starts with a question: is our obsession with being salsa famous killing our own industry, or is our own obsession with salsa fame killing our industry? So I'm going to start by explaining why is it that I call us an industry. And the reason why I need to explain this is because we are blinded by romanticism, uh, and then that doesn't let us get ahead. Okay, if you think, oh yeah, salsa and bachata is not an industry, it's a dance, and I dance with my heart and whatnot, then you're part of the problem of being blind to the fact that there's a lot of people that want to quit their job so they can just dance for a living, okay? Or they can just do this for a living, right? Now, I'm going to explain to you why I say that this is an industry. An industry is something where you create products or services and you sell them, and there's people that buy the products, right? When I did this talk in Spanish, I read the Wikipedia um, definition of industry. However, today I'm not able to do that because I was driving just earlier and there's crazy traffic in Mexico. So I was not able to get that. But if anyone over here can add the definition of industry, is going to go, please do it in the comments. Go to Wikipedia and just go, this is what industry means. So basically, our community, like our dance, salsa and bachata, back in the day used to be just a cultural expression, okay? And by a lot of us wanting to keep it that way, meaning like wanting to believe that that's what all it is, we're being blind. Maybe for some people that's what it is, but even for you guys, if this salsa and bachata is just a cultural expression, let me tell you that the way we are approaching it, we're killing even that cultural expression, because the way we are making salsa and bachata become a product that doesn't have any depth, where when we are diluting the cultural aspect of it, the musical aspect of it, the educational aspect, the history aspect, the respect, when we're diluting that and we are replacing all of that just for becoming famous, just for saying salsa is equivalent to being famous or to being sexy or to being I don't know, like on Instagram or whatever, then we are killing all that it salsa and bachata should really be, right? Okay, so that's the reason why I tell you that at the beginning it used to be just a cultural expression. People would dance salsa more often in their house, in the on the street. I remember, like in Mexico City, people dance on the street. There's a full street where people dance salsa. It like the street is not like a little street. It's like a full avenue. Like it's huge, and they close it. I don't know if they still do that, but I remember that I went there like probably 20 years ago, and that's how it was. And I remember when I first encountered salsa outside of Mexico. That was I went to the U.S. when I went to college, and I went to a friend's party, and she was from Colombia, and then in her house, everyone was dancing salsa. So this is kind of like how it was for all of us growing up, right? But uh, nowadays, like I would say, perhaps after um, the I don't know, like a 98 or 90, yeah, like around the 98. I believe that the very first salsa congress happened in, I think I went to the one in 2000 in Puerto Rico. That's and I believe that was not the first one. So perhaps the very first Albert Torres event was in 1999, perhaps. Um, so I would say that after that, it started becoming more of an industry where more people could have a job doing something related to salsa. And who do I talk about? Like this gave the opportunity to some teachers to start teaching salsa and then make a living off of it, and then being able to quit their job so that they could be salsa teachers. Um, then for this was also the social dancing. And I remember at this point, I used to live in LA. So there was salsa dancing there. I'm sure they're still the same, but back in the day, social dancing was a huge thing where people really practiced and really took classes so that they could be better leads and better follows. Um, and I remember that before you would go to a club, and there was a club every single day. There was a Floriditas on Monday. There was on Tuesdays. I think it was Steven's Steakhouse. I think on Wednesdays it was a Sevilla or something. I mean, no. On Wednesdays there was a place. It was really cool. I remember it had a name of a guy. Like it was the name. It was ghetto as hell, you guys. And then there was the conga room. I believe it was on Thursdays. This is back in 2000. Okay, in 1999 and 2000. But so back in the day, the clubs could make money by having people social dance, and people social dancing were really like really into it, really into getting to know each other, getting to dance with each other, getting to be in the community. So there was a lot of people really benefiting from this, right? But it was like done in a very respectful and correct way. I remember back in the day, people were very focused on dancing on time. It was so much so that I remember Francisco Vasquez and all of them, all his friends would. Uh, oh, it was probably not him, now that I remember, but some of them, they would be like looking at you, and they would be going like at a club. I'm not even joking. Even if they knew you or didn't know you, they would still do this kind of thing. They would come in and they would be like one, like marking your timing, meaning like telling you that if you're not dancing on time, you should not be like showing off. And they would especially do that with people that look like they were trying to show up. So basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that back in the day, we used to respect salsa dancing. We used to definitely respect it. Nowadays is very, very different. Um, and anyway, so it changed. Then it started, the congresses started giving work to teachers who would teach. So there was like beginner classes, there was intermediate classes, and there would be some master classes. Then there would be also, it gave jobs to people who would perform. So back in the day, there was, I don't know, for instance, you would see Los Rumberos performing, you would see Salsa Brava performing, you would see editores perform, you would see, I don't know, Tito and Tamara perform, and the rest of us would not perform. We would just not be like trying to perform right next to them because we hadn't earned that right, to be on stage at the same time that they were, right? So, and then they started implementing this thing, which was the afternoon shows. And in the afternoon shows, people will go as students or as, like as amateur dancers or even like professional dancers, but like who had not proven to be, worthy of being on stage with like Tito and Tamara. Um, and Albert Torres would be looking at you, and then out of all the shows, let's say that you would have 20 shows in the afternoon show, right? And then Albert Torres would pick one out of all those 20 and move it to the night show. So if you were picked to dance in the night show, that was the thing. That was like a big accomplishment. So it was something to look for, to look forward to, right? So you would be really working and really studying and really taking classes, and your teacher would be really focused on, like, he would be bringing other coaches to help you, because there was something about being able to be picked out so that you could go on stage, right? Nowadays, you see that that's not going on. Now everybody can dance, anybody can dance on stage, no matter how they dance. And people now no longer want to go watch the shows because they're just very boring and very just every show looks the same, and choreographies look identical. People have like no technique. I mean, it's just like it's very uh, because it's turned into a recital. Why? Because now the way we've turned this industry has what has happened is that we have made it that just anybody can go on stage, and like people just want to make money. The people that go on stage, they just want to be famous, and the people that or they just want to experience the being there on stage, and they don't feel like they need to study or they need to know anything, because as long as they just go up on stage and they have like a name behind them or whatever, then that's enough. And then promoters, all they want to do is just like charge for them to perform, right? And we have made it so that that afternoon show is gone, and now it's like it's very convoluted, and uh, it's just become very tough for everyone. Teachers are not like really in demand, because what's in demand right now is for you to put together a team and quickly have them go on stage, and the next step is quickly have them go on competition. So you don't have time to actually train your team, to train yourself, to like look at what you're doing wrong and then fix it. There's no space for that. Everybody wants everything super fast, and they want to have fame right away. They just want to be, and then also the fact that, hold on, let me just see if I have. It's getting hot here because my air conditioner is not on. Anyway, everyone just wants to become famous instantaneously, because it's very easy, or you people think that it's very easy to become instantaneously famous if you go on TikTok or on Instagram and you put on a very nice video with a nice city behind you and a nice outfit, and you have a very nice body, and then that's all you need. You don't need to train. You don't need to know what you're doing. You don't need to create a new choreography that nobody has seen. You can just copy everybody else's complete look and everything. You can look exactly like everybody else in your country or in another country. You can copy their choreography identical and just put it together bits and pieces, and nobody's gonna say anything. You're still gonna be able to go on stage, and you're still gonna be able to go and compete, and you're probably gonna win. I mean, it's just very, um, the quality has really dropped. The standard has dropped because we have diluted we have completely diluted the stages in which you can go up. So right now everything has flattened up. So from now, remember me talking about this, saying that we used to go here, and then in order to go here you have to work. Now it's like everybody is on the same level. So people here don't have the need to train. Therefore, the work for trainers and for real teachers and for people who get educated, the need for it, the demand for it is being gone because the quality is diluted. The way we see things, our standards are very confused, very confused. Now the eye is very confused as what is right and what is wrong, because nobody really cares to train so that they can see what's right and what's wrong. And because of that, then uh, all the job for the teachers is being gone. Okay, so it's like now there's less and less work for teachers. There's a lot of people teaching, but everybody's teaching the same thing. So there's no interest in learning fundamentals. There's no interest in learning, like, if you're going to be on a stage, you should learn theater, you should learn acting, you should learn how to space yourself in the space. You should learn dynamics. All of this your teacher should know, but your teacher doesn't know it, because your teacher very likely is just somebody who's famous because of Instagram and didn't care to learn all these things because he didn't know that he had to, because the standard has completely erased everything because of our obsession to become famous. That's what I mean. um, Please feel free to comment if anything that I'm saying is resonating with you. I i feel like you guys are too quiet. You know what happens when I do this in Spanish? A lot of people comment. When I do things in English, I feel like you guys are so quiet about things. You're so afraid. And if you guys continue to be so afraid of speaking up, we're never going to fix this. And the only thing that is going to happen is that we're going to end up in a really bad place, you guys, in a really bad place. I'm going to continue doing these lives regardless. But I would really recommend and like just ask you to think, about where we're heading and what you can do about it. One of the things that you can do about it is open up your mind and then see that we're doing things in the wrong way. Just create this awareness in your mind that in reality there's other industries that don't work the way we work. Uh, there's other dances that, even like, for instance, like ballroom looks very similar to what we do, but they do have the stairs to go up. Like, they have steps. You can't just go and then in ballroom, for instance, you can't just go and then do a show just because you want to. You have to earn your way up to the stage. You in ballroom, people teachers don't charge $1, don't charge $5, they charge $100, and nobody will teach you ballroom for less than $100. And I think they do that for 45 minutes. They don't even do it for an hour. In our industry, people are like selling themselves because it's just the way we are being conditioned to not respect our work, our job, uh, has made all this, like, it's a full circle in which we don't care about learning because and therefore we don't care about teaching correctly because we don't think that we have to, and then the quality is going down. So now I'm just talking about shows. I spoke about social dancing. Now I'm moving to shows. And then, so back in the day, the shows were used to be this way. And then there was a lot of space for promoters to make money off of selling these shows. So it was like a big deal to have all these people come to watch these big shows, right? There was only like 10 shows per night, tops 13. Now there's like 55. Um, and so it used to be this way, and then the promoters could really make money doing that. Then the workshops were like really high quality. It was not just choreography, it was like classes for like dance, right? Now in if you want to teach a class, because now the thing is just being famous, then you don't want to, like, as a teacher, you feel like obligated to do like something that is going to end up on Instagram, something you're like, you feel like if you are giving value to your students don't value it anyway. What matters is that whatever you're doing can look so fancy and so cool that you end up on Instagram with a nice video, right? So what does that mean? That looks like this when you're teaching in a workshop. It looks like you have to teach some shit that nobody will understand, but you don't care because what matters is that you put this video on Instagram. So do you see how this affects the value, the quality of teaching? Because if you're only teaching stuff that looks fancy, then you're not really caring about what your students learn. Does that make sense? And I'm telling you this because this is one thing that I go through every single time that I go to a workshop. I always have to think about like my purpose. My purpose, in my case, I feel like I can afford to do this because I just don't care. But like for me, it's more important that people, when they get out of the workshop, they say, I've never seen a class like this. Oh my God, this was such an eye opener. I learned so much in this 45 minutes of class. Um, that for me, that's a lot more important than to have a nice video for Instagram. That's why I don't have a lot of dance videos on Instagram, because I don't focus so much on that. I focus on teaching. But it's hard. It's very hard because I feel like people don't really care about that. It's just insane. So you just gotta be like focused and just be like, you know what? If 5 people care about this and I'm going to affect 5 people, that's what I'm gonna do, right? But I can understand somebody who is just starting to teach at a congress. They just want to be fancy, and what are we gonna teach? Just some fancy moves, and most likely it's also because they don't know how to teach fundamentals. They don't know how to teach dance. They only know how to teach a move that they've already copied from somebody else, or that somebody else taught them but never taught them how to do it. So I can see how that's um, very possible that you'll be teaching and you just teach something that is completely just not fake, but just like very superficial. Okay, so that's how it's being, our obsession with being famous is Insta famous or salsa famous is really affecting our industry, because it's giving us teachers no need to teach. It is giving students no hunger for good teachers. So it's creating this community of teachers who don't need to learn anything because the students don't want to learn it either way. They just want to learn choreography, and the fancier, the harder the choreography, the better. Okay, so and that's not good, guys. That's really, really not good. In the long run, it's just really going downwards. Okay, then I'm gonna move to competitions. In competitions started afterwards. I would say that the big competitions started, I think, in 2006 was the very first ESPN competition, and that one created some little competitions in other countries, in other congresses, right? So that was also another source of income for promoters and for coaches who were choreographing and coaching people that would later on go on and try winning competitions, right? Now the competitions, everybody does competitions. Competitions are not organized in a way that you know which one is more important than the other, or which one ranks you. There's no ranking system just yet. The judges that are being hired are a lot of them are hired because they're famous and not because they know not because they know about competition. And then also there's just not something that tells you this is right, this is wrong. And nobody, and I'm a judge, so I can speak for myself. There's a lot of things that I like. I wish there was like more of I don't know, like an exam that I could pass and just say, yes, I'm doing this right, I'm doing this wrong. And so that way I would know that I know absolutely everything that I gotta know in order to be a judge. Now imagine, in my case, like for instance, I'm a trained dancer. I'm also an engineer, so that makes me very like analytical and stuff like that, right? I've been dancing salsa for over 20 years. Um, I've won salsa and bachata competitions over and over. My teams have won over and over, but still, I feel like um, that's not enough. Like I wish I could take an exam. So imagine if I'm in this position, imagine everyone else who's a judge and they've never competed in their lives. They're not trained dancers. And I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but this is what happens in a lot of the congresses, especially for instance in Mexico. This is what happens a lot. Like people hire other dancers who have never competed, who are not trained dancers, and you need to be a trained dancer in order to see certain things. I mean, it's basic, you know. Um, and they hire people just because they're famous, or just because they don't charge, or just because I mean, it's crazy. And how is this affecting the industry? Well, imagine this. You are a person who wants to compete and you're being judged by this five people who are not not definitely not qualified to be judges. Sorry, my phone is saying that it's not getting connected. Gilberto Rubio. A este güey. No, yo no estoy hablando de nadie en especial. Pero él sé que sí está entrenado, tiene una licenciatura. Sé que tiene una licenciatura de medicina. Okay, yeah. No, but there's a lot of people who are, you know, and even then, like I'm saying, even him, even me, I'm putting myself in this position. Like I have all this qualifications, and I still, and I've taken the course to become a judge. But I still, like I was speaking to the owner of the World Latin Dance Club, that his name is Aiden. He lives in Dubai, but he is Colombian. And he was talking to me about this, and I was like, we need to come up with like some sort of system where we take exams, and we take the exam every year, you know. And so imagine, like I'm coming from this perspective. Imagine everyone else. I mean, it's very hard, you know. So it's not making it go up, but it's going down. When I judge, what I see right now is that because people want things so fast, they're competing and competing and competing, and they don't take time to study. They don't take time to clean. They don't take time to become better dancers. They don't take time to become better artists, better coaches. They don't take time, and I can see it because I'm looking at people who are competing in pro, and I'm like, this looks nothing like pro to me. Like, I don't understand, when does this become pro? People with like crooked legs, with I mean, just like, and then people dancing the same exact routine that somebody else danced 2 years ago, same music. I mean, it's insane. So I'm like, am I the only person who is, am I the only person who's like looking at this? Am I the only person who can notice, who takes notice? Or is it that you Americans are just so quiet? You just guys are so afraid of speaking up that this is going on and then nothing is gonna change. In Mexico, people are more outspoken, but it's just that in Mexico, people don't have any power. So that's the reason why, like, I'm putting together this association. It's like a union, and it's going on really really well. And we're with some departments from the government. So it's we're doing things like seriously, but people do want to do something about it. With you guys, I feel like you guys are just so, you guys are very uh, lukewarm, and because of that, it's going to be very hard for you guys to fix this, and this needs to be fixed. I tell you, don't think that things are going on, that the fact that things are this way, even if this is the way it's going on, even if this is the status quo, it's not good. I'm not saying morally right or wrong. I'm saying it's not effective. I'm talking about in terms of productivity, in terms of effectiveness. How in the long run, how is this going to affect us? How is this going to take us? Where is it going to take us? Even the promoters who are, in my opinion, promoters are the ones that have more to do with this, because a lot of promoters are not dancers, and a lot of promoters are more like business people, and they do a lot of things just to make money, but they don't understand that by doing this stuff, their own job is in jeopardy, because they're making it, like, for instance, right now, if you don't have a competition in your event, you don't have an event. If you don't have, people don't want to go to workshops anymore. People don't want to go, they don't want to watch the shows, and people want to social dance without taking classes. So what's going on is that you're killing the need for teachers. You're killing the need for teachers to teach social dancing. Social dancing is very different from stage dancing, from dancing on stage. We need to start with, and I'm going to be talking about this in the following lives that I'm going to be talking in. Um, I'm probably going to be doing them every Friday at the same time. And I'm going to be talking about separating the fields of action, because we have them all convoluted. That's why you have people that are social dancers, and they're social dancers, and then you put them on stage, or you put them teaching when they have nothing to be doing teaching, because they're not teachers. They're social dancers. But then you have people that are doing shows, and they don't know how to social dance, and they don't know how to teach social dancing. And it's like they teach social dancing because they need to make money in their studio. But then what they teach to these people, to these new generations, is choreography. So then when you go out social dancing, you see people doing choreography. And how does this look to me? This is how it feels. Every time I go to a congress and I have somebody approach me to social dance, especially bachata, they come up to me, and not like 9 out of 10 people would have the same MO. They come in, they start dancing with me. It's like they have earphones on, because the music is on one side and they're on another side. They're not listening to the music. And I'm not talking about timing. I'm talking about musicality. They have like the music is so rich. And I'm like dying to dance, like, like, oh, whatever, like interpret. Because I love also the freedom that bachata gives you. But to break the rules, you need to know the rules. And these people don't know to break or to know. They just don't know anything. But then they want to do moves that they see on YouTube. And I can tell because they're all doing the same exact moves. As a matter of fact, when I go to Instagram and I see couples doing shows, doing their videos, it's like they have the same syllabus. They do the same exact thing. So anyway, when I go social dancing, these people are dancing things they don't know how to lead. They don't know how to lead these moves. And like sensual bachata, you need to lead, and there is a technique to it. And if you don't use that technique, then you're relying on the other person to just dance and not follow, or you're just relying on the other person to know the same move and then interpret like that's what you want to do. But it's very dangerous because sensual bachata is not a joke. Like you gotta do it in a way that like your body is being conserved. It's being safe, that you're not hurting yourself or your partner. So when I go to social dancing to congresses, 9 out of 10 people will come up to me. They would ask me to dance. They do these crazy moves that they don't know how to lead. And then I ask them, who taught you how to dance? Because I mean, obviously, that was just change schools, right? And then they all say, no, I taught myself. So instead of like, and that's like, this is a thing that just like really blows my mind. Um, Thinking that you have to be proud of just teaching yourself. That that mentality, that mindset is fueled by this salsa fame or bachata fame mentality, this Instagram fame mentality. Is fueled by this. Is fueled by the fact that people don't value, they don't respect, and they don't care for learning and having um, real content and real knowledge. I'm sorry, guys, that if I speak slower, is because some of these words I know them in Spanish, and to translate them, like I don't want to, you know what I mean? I gotta kind of like think. So yeah, people like don't care about knowledge anymore, and it's very obvious. It's really really obvious. So by if a promoter is asking the acts, uh, I don't like how they call us acts, but if they call us the artist, and then you request for artists to uh, social dance with everyone, then what you're already killing your own industry, your own um, congress, because you're telling people that they don't need to take classes, and therefore, I mean, the whole thing is just gonna start getting narrower and narrower and narrower. It already is. Let me explain this to you. When you have a studio and people go to your studio, they don't want you to teach them choreography, but you feel like you have to teach them choreography because the industry has narrowed it down so much that people now just want to be famous. And how are they going to be famous? Not social dancing, not learning how to dance, not that. That's not going to give them fame. What's going to give them fame is learning a choreography and putting it on Instagram. So that's the reason why like it just becomes so that teachers are not now like forgetting all this knowledge, letting it go. And this whole knowledge of history of music, history of salsa, history of bachata, musicality, music, uh, connection, lead and follow. I mean, all this stuff, fundamentals, everything is being obsolete, and it's becoming like knowledge from the past that now nobody cares about. So it's gonna go away. It's gonna disappear because nobody has documented it. So that's how it's gonna be. And we are responsible for it. Okay, and as this is getting now more narrow, everybody's gonna have less work. Okay, so for promoters, I would suggest that we get together and we decide a way. I would suggest to do this. I would suggest that people would only be allowed to social dance with the people, with the artists they took classes from. And that way, I think that artists will be more willing to dance with them because they will be like, okay, he took my class and I taught like musicality, and therefore I can see I'm gonna even give him feedback. You see what I mean? That happens to me a lot. Like I really appreciate when somebody takes my musicality workshop or my fundamentals workshop or my lead and follow workshop, and then they ask me to dance. Man, because I can see the difference, and I can see that I made an impact in one person. That makes a lot more. It gives me a lot more than just some dude that is like trying to like just spin me super fast and just like oh, you know what I mean. So yeah, I would suggest that we do that. Now for shows, I think that the mentality that we have, the mindset of becoming famous, has made it that people are not really like looking. It's insane to me to see so many people doing fusion, and it's horrible, horrible. Like, oh my God, this is gonna go. My phone is gonna die. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know how to do this. And yes. Okay, guys, I think this is gonna end very soon, but I will read your comments, and please send me a message because I'm gonna make a group just like I did for Spanish, and I'm going to be continuing to talk about this, but you guys need to send me